Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Jaylee's Corner. I am, of course, Jaylee. Yes, I just had a brain fart and couldn't remember what I was saying. But we are back on track here, and it's I'm finished fixing the camera. No, I'm not going to start over. It is what it is. But thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everyone had a good weekend. It is currently Sunday evening, so everyone's getting ready for the work week. Drop your comments below to let me know how your weekend was. My weekend was cool. Chilled. Xscape Still Kicking It is a very, very, very interesting show simply because we getting all the dirt from what happened with Xscape. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fully here for Tasha or Tamika. Yeah, you know, I'm not really for the Scott sisters just yet. I think I hold a grudge. I think I'm a Candy fan a little bit. And I just feel like, you know, there's some things going on that they don't want to admit to. My ponytail looks crazy, but y'all know how I be sometimes. So the episode starts off with Candy talking to one of her best friends, Tan. Now, I was aware of who Tan is and was. One, because I watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, but also because I'm an old school Xscape fan, and Tan is actually one of the original members of Xscape. And back in the day, they said how the managers didn't really like Tan for the group, you know, because Xscape was a 5-person group. If you watch them on BET's, was it the Summit? An old BET show, I think it was the Summit. It was a Team Summit, whatever it was called. You know, it was 5 members on there, and Tan was one of them. But the managers was like, they didn't really like her, so they gave the group an ultimatum. Like, either, it was the manager who was like, you know, either put her out the group, or I'm not going to be your manager anymore. And because they were young and they thought they needed this manager, they let Tam go. But Candy admit that they really should have had her back. You know, mistakes that you make as children. So, you know, she's talking to Tam and just saying how, you know, the ladies are, you know, really pushing for this whole Xscape tour, this whole, you know, thing. And she like, you know, I'm not really trying to push for that just yet. And Tam like, you know, well, why they doing that? And then Candy, I'm sorry, I'm trying to move the camera back and I'm trying to make sure I'm not getting off nothing. And Candy like, you know, Tam's like, you know, why they doing that? And Candy like, well, you know why. You know, they want the money, they want to make the money. But everyone know that. Everyone know that Candy, someone put a comment. I either saw it on Twitter, I saw it somewhere on Twitter, or someone even could have commented on one of my videos and said that Candy is money hungry. I don't think Candy is money hungry. I think Candy is a business woman, and she's about her business, and if it makes her money, she'll do it. But as you see, if Candy was money hungry, she wouldn't be asking these questions up front before she agrees to do things. She would just be like, you know what, yeah, let's do a whole tour. Let's do the whole world. Let's do a whole world tour. Let's do a whole new album. But that's not what she's doing, and that's why Candy isn't money hungry. It's not about the money for her. Whereas the other ladies, it's like, yeah, let's go full head and let's do this because they know they can profit off of it. Where Candy like, wait, let's see if we even work out, because if we don't, I don't want to be tied to it. And the reason Candy can say that is because Xscape coming back isn't her meal ticket. You know what I'm saying? That isn't the way to get her back into the limelight of it all. And I hope I remember to bring up them on Watch What Happens Live. Jaylee, please remember to talk about them on Watch What Happens Live at the end, because they piss me off a little bit. Anywho, so Candy brings up how she feels like they need a manager currently. She says, you know, as far as Latasha, her husband Rocky is her manager. She brings up how back in the day, when they first broke up, how he was like their manager then, but he wasn't really a good manager. So just because he's managing Tasha now, she's like, I don't want him to be our manager because he didn't handle the things the right way back then. She was like, she said things were just, they weren't handled right. And how he showed favoritism. I'm pretty sure he would. And that's just how some people are. If it's a group of 4 people and your girlfriend or your fiance, your future wife is a member of the group, you're going to try to do everything that's right for her. You're going to try to build her career up as much as you can. You know, just the same way how they did Beyonce with Matthew Knowles was the manager. Just saying. I ain't going to, you know, and I'm a Beyonce fan. You know, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely in the Beehive. But Matthew Knowles and Tina Knowles made sure that Beyonce would still be Beyonce if and when Destiny's Child ended. And now she is what she is. You know what I'm saying? She's the queen bee. So, you know, Tiny was saying how she felt like Rocky at the time was telling Natasha that she had started a group and she didn't need the other ladies, hence her trying to go solo. You know, Tasha was saying how he wasn't the problem, how before he got there, there was already issues within Xscape. But Tasha, what you need to realize is if there were issues before he came to Xscape, if he came, then he didn't make them any better. Because guess what happened? The group still broke up. Okay? And it's not about saying he was the cause of the issues. It was a thing of saying he didn't help the issues. He didn't fix shit. He kind of just made it worse. Come on now, think about it. Candy was saying how Tasha would like separate herself. How before they were, you know, at least doing certain things together. She's like, but once he got there and kind of put in her head that she was better than them, you know, she didn't want to have a dressing room with us. We would pray before the show. She wouldn't want to pray with us. And there's different things she wouldn't want to do. And saying like, well, you know, you think she's all for self or she really about the group? Me, personally, I think Tamika and Latasha are for themselves. I think they also understand they need the group to be in this industry. Because let's be honest. Let's just be honest. Ain't nobody checking for a solo album for any of the women. Candy, Tiny, any 4. Candy, Tiny, Latasha, or Tamika. No one is looking for a solo album from them. And I think that's why when Candy did solo stuff and she got a little bit of success, but she realized this is not where I'm going to make my money. I need to expand and put my hands in different pots. And she has lasted all these years. But, you know, Tamika and Latasha know they can't make a solo album now. And if they do, it ain't going to sell. I mean, it's just not. And that's not no shade to them because if Candy made one or Tiny made one. No, we need y'all as Xscape. It's been too many years for it to be anything else but that. So, but I'm like, I do think they for self. They want to do what makes them money, and whatever they have to do it is what they're going to do. Because again, if Xscape wasn't going on tour, all 4 members, no one would have booked a tour with just the 2 Scott sisters and Tiny. It wouldn't happen. I mean, let's call it spade a spade. It wouldn't happen. So, you know, Candy admits how she's like, I'm not willing to put the group ahead of other things I have going on, which is why I'm not trying to sign up for no tour this yet. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't either. If I'm already making my money and I'm already in this business and I don't need this, I'm not going to say, you know what, because these are my old group mates, let me put all my other stuff on hold, on the back burner, and let me go blindly into this situation with some women who I haven't even really connected with in 20 years. Candy's smart, and she's not going to put all her eggs in someone else's basket. You know, I think that's a good thing. So the next rehearsal that they have, Tiny comes in, and before they all practice time, like, well, let's, you know, band, give us a moment. So the band leaves, and she have all 4 ladies sit down, and she's like, you know, let's just, you know, is everybody okay? You know, can we have a pretty good rehearsal today? Because as y'all know, the last rehearsal was when her and Candy had the conversation outside, when Candy was saying, I'm not 100% in just yet. I want to see how things go before I sign on for a tour. Let's do these 3 little shows, and then that's it, which is the Essence show. It is the BET show, and it's the one show in Detroit that they were going to have. So from there, they like, what Candy like, well, I guess you mean me, since we had that conversation yesterday. And she was like, you know, I just feel like, you know, she says, I know I'm not on the same page with everyone else. You know what I'm saying? That's clear as day. She says, I want to see how these first couple of shows go before I agree to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see how it goes. And Tiny was like, you know, that is fair. That's the fair thing to do. But that's a common sense thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anyone who comes back together should be like, okay, let's come back together, do a show at Essence, and this will hold full tour. No, you do a couple of tester shows to see how it's really going to work out, if it's going to work out. Because what happens is, you be like, okay, let's do a whole tour, and y'all do 2 shows, and everybody beefed out, and then y'all got to pay back any money that y'all got paid earlier because y'all can't do a full tour. No, book 1 or 2 or 3 shows, see how it go, and if y'all don't murder each other or y'all don't go off on each other and y'all can continue to work together, then book a tour. That's what business people do. Okay? So Tasha asked, in my opinion, which was a dumbass question. Well, why are you having reservations? What are you having reservations about? Bitch, because I don't know you. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And I haven't talked to y'all in 20 years. That's my reservation. And, Candy's like, which, and that's the reason I said it was a dumb question, is because y'all have not been around each other in 20 years. Candy don't need this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all haven't ironed out y'all issues. Why would she not have reservations? Anyone with common sense would have reservations. You'll want to see how shit gonna go. So Candy goes into, she's like, Candy says, y'all have conversations that I'm not included in, and we all don't, and I don't see eye to eye with y'all about, how the business should be handled. She brings up, for instance, I didn't know that y'all was putting my name on any kind of trademark, and I still don't agree with that being done. So then Tamika's in her confession, she was saying, I don't see what Candy's problem is. What did she say? No, when Candy said that she didn't know about the trademark, and then Tamika then said, Candy, you knew. And Candy was like, no, I did not know. That's not true. I didn't know. Then Tamika says how Candy name was added to the corporation so business as Xscape can move on. But she didn't say if she wanted y'all to do that. So just because y'all wanted things to keep going on as Xscape and you added her name without talking to her, that still means y'all had a conversation without her and put her name on something, and y'all didn't ask her permission. Okay, that should be illegal. Okay, it really should be, but I'm not gonna go there. So Tasha was saying about how, at the radio station, once Tamika apologized, you said you was ready to work again. And she's like, yeah, but I just meant, I was okay with seeing what we could do. I felt better about, about the group. But that didn't mean I wanted to so quickly jump into doing shows every week. That didn't mean that I wanted to go book a tour. It just means I'm okay to have conversations about what the next step is. And then Natasha was like, she was acting as if Candy having concerns wasn't fair to the fans, saying, well, why would we announce we getting back together? That's not fair to the fans. We said that, and then they would be asking us, well, what do you do? Where's the music? Why y'all not doing anything together? And I'm like, fans ain't doing that. If I hear Destiny's Child gonna get back together, I'm not gonna be like, they said a week ago they gonna do a show and they ain't did nothing yet. You get them time to get it together, and that's what Candy meant by, I wasn't ready to just jump back into doing shows every week with y'all. And no one really would, but you have to practice to get it correct and get it right. And Candy, as you see, this all happened overnight. We did an interview one day, and then a week later, all this stuff just started happening all quick and fast. And, Tiny was saying in her confessional how Candy's feelings was valid, but, the fact that, because Candy said, I've only talked to Tiny about how I feel about this, and Tiny was feeling how it was not fair to her if she's the only person that knows how Candy feel. And I'm like, but you her only friend, so it ain't that it's not fair, it's that she don't talk to them, but you talk to them. So as her friend, sometimes you have to be the go-between. And it's not like you go in between and you gossip and you saying, well, okay, well, I talked to Candy and this is how she feel. And then they can say, oh, okay, well, let's all get together so we can all talk about this. But that's not what's happening. Tamika and Latasha are talking to each other. Candy and Tiny are talking to each other. But only Tiny is talking to both sets of people. That's just how it is. So from there, we see things kind of take a turn for the worst, but the best. Tasha is basically saying, Why did my screen just get small? I don't know why. But see, so Natasha starts asking her, why have me and you always had issues? Like, what's going on? Tasha then said that Candy really been angry because they used to ask Tasha to sing songs on the albums. And Candy was like, well, that's not true. I was singing lead for the first 2 albums. What you talking about? Well, that's why you was mad, because on the 3rd album they had me singing lead, and then Kenny was like, "Girl, bye." She was like, the reason I was upset wasn't because they was having you sing a lead on a song. I was pissed off because they tried to turn our 3rd album into a spearhead for your solo album. So they was gonna try to have you sing lead on all the songs, like you the lead singer now, and then have us only singing backup. She's like, I wasn't about to be used like I was the Pips and you was Gladys Knight. I would feel the exact same way. Point blank, period. If we a group and you want us to do an album with one person singing lead, when for the past 2 albums we all been, collectively singing on songs, I'm not gonna be happy about that. Especially if I'm aware that the record label is trying to give you a fucking solo album, and it seems like Latasha's being completely oblivious to the fact that the girls were aware that she was being offered, trying to get, or had a solo album deal. And I feel like she keeps ignoring that fact. She keeps ignoring the fact that in one way or another, she was offered, had a solo deal while she was still in the group. It's just the truth. So, Tasha was saying, well, I didn't use y'all. My voice got me a solo deal. Her point of saying that she wasn't going to let you use her meant that you wasn't talented. What she was saying was, you tried to use our album as your mouthpiece for people to hear your voice as a solo artist, because it's just you singing. And you tried to use that for your solo album. And I agree that, because I remember them talking about that kind of stuff back in the day when they first broke up. Of course, I'm old enough to know that. And then Candy says, she feels like Latasha might feel guilty because she had something successful, which is the group Xscape, and she kind of ruined it and tried to go solo, but she didn't have any success from it, and so she won't take accountability for it now. I think that's kind of true too. Candy was like, I'm not going to allow anyone to just use me as a background singer. I think that's true. And Tasha was one on. So with the producers would get mad at me because they would ask me to sing songs, sing the lead in the song. So the producer was asking me to sing lead in the song. My group mates was getting mad at me. So I either would sing the songs that had my group mad at me, or not sing the songs that had the producers mad at me. My thing is, you should have known why your group was mad. And did you not see it, or did you just not care? Because again, this is 20 years ago. So kids and teenagers and early 20s, and who knows what else was going through her head at that particular time. So she then says, because I was conflicted between the group and the producers, I went and talked to JD, Jermaine Dupri, and I told him what was going on, and JD then said that, I should do a solo project. So again, you were offered a solo deal. You wanted a solo deal, and you tried to take advantage of getting a solo deal while you were still in the group and y'all were making a 3rd album. That ain't how you do stuff, okay? So, Candy then tells the tea. She's spilling all the tea. She then goes, like, our attorney, the group's attorney, back then, told them when they were about to do their 3rd album that on Tasha's behalf, that she would not do a 3rd album unless she had the option to do her own solo album. And I'm like, damn, Tasha. So she's like, they didn't say that. Ain't nobody tell y'all that. And then Tiny finally speaks up, and she was like, no, they did tell us that. They told us that you, our attorney told us. She said they break it down. We wanted to get $4 million for our 3rd album because it's 4 people on the album. She said, but because the attorney said that Tasha would not do any promotion for it, they couldn't get all the money they wanted, and it's because Tasha wanted a solo deal, so she wasn't trying to do no promotion for the Xscape album because she was working on her own album. She's like, so because of that, we only got $800,000 for the last album. I'm like, she said because the company felt like if they gave them $4 million, they wouldn't get their money back, and that's only $200,000 per person. So you cost me $800,000. is what happened. Because we could all got $1 million each. And she said because the producers and the company didn't think they would recoup the $4 million because Latasha was saying, I'm not going to promote the album. I'm done. So in a way, you did sabotage Xscape. You know, point blank, period. So like, finally, somebody speaking up, finally Tiny is being the friend that I wanted to be and just say what really happened. She's like, that's the problem. Things happen and nobody want to talk about it, and now I seem like I'm an outspoken person. So she's like, I can't be the only person who speaks up. She then looks over at Tamika like, don't act like you didn't know this too, but you just never said anything. And Tamika like, I don't have an opinion, I don't want to say nothing. And it's like, that's not fair, you can't just shut down and not be honest. So Tamika finally admit that, the last time she spoke up when there was an issue between Kandi and Latasha, she fucked up. She said that is why she went on the radio and lied. She was like, when Kandi said my sister broke up the group by trying to get a solo deal, I felt like I had to defend my sister. So I lied. I went on the radio station and I lied on Kandi in defense of my sister. My thing is, you can defend your sister without lying on Kandi. You could have just said that's not true. That's how Kandi thinks things happens, but that ain't really what happened. But for you to go in there and like say she slept with everybody, she slept with everybody in So Def. She slept with Jermaine Dupri's father and Jermaine Dupri. Now, we all know Kandi and Jermaine Dupri did mess around back then. Kandi had admitted that herself. But the fact that Tamika is admitting that she literally lied on Kandi to defend her sister, I'm looking like, what kind of person is you? Why you gotta lie on somebody to protect your sister? For me, I feel like that mean what Kandi was saying was true. Because if there was no truth to what Kandi was saying, you wouldn't lie on her. You lied because you was mad that she was telling that she was talking about your sister. And I think that's just kind of bullshit. At this point, it's hella awkward. The band then left, so they can't practice. So we then see now Latasha and Kandi have a separate private conversation just about them two in general. And, I mean, I don't want to go the whole thing about it, but, Tasha just says how she always felt like she was Kandi's big sister, and she doesn't know where they went wrong and why they've never been on the same page. Kandi, on the other hand, like, we was never cool. We was never close like that. It was never like a big sister type of situation. It was always like I was always the person on the outside looking in. Your sister always took your side to things, and we've just never been on the same page. I even told your sister at one point, I feel like that Latasha don't like me. She's like, well, I don't know why you would think that, that's kind of crazy. And she's like, because it was always you versus me, is what Kandi was saying. And Ty's like, well, I didn't know. I didn't see that ever. And she's like, how did you never notice it? And it was like that all the time. It was always y'all against me. She then gets emotional, of course. Kandi gets emotional sometimes. And she was like, your sister always took your side, no matter what, whether you was right or wrong, she always took your side, and that was kind of unfair for me because it was y'all against me. Now, this is where I feel like Latasha went, and she should have just shut up, because I just feel like you just should not bring up people's relatives who are not, alive or whatever. She then said, if Patrick was here, if Patrick was still around, he would be, because Patrick is Kandi's brother, who passed away when Kandi was like 15. So Kandi said, my brother died when I was 15 before we even got a deal. So if he was still here, he would be, he was the mediator. So he wouldn't take my side if I was wrong. He would mediate and make things, not be crazy. She then goes and say, Patrick passed away when she was 15 in a car accident in Mexico. But she just says that how he would be the mediator with the girls. Latasha said the same thing. She's like, I remember one time, my sister, Tamika, and Kandi were arguing. And Patrick came in and said, don't y'all be fighting like that. Y'all sisters, y'all just work it out. So my thing is, if he was the same way that Tamika and Latasha was, if he came in and his sister arguing with somebody else and he didn't take her side, he was being a mediator. Whereas with Tamika and Latasha, when Latasha was doing wrong, Tamika wasn't a mediator. Tamika came in and just blindly took her sister's side in the group setting. And that's the bad thing. You can't it's about business. And so when Latasha compared Kandi's dead brother to her grown-ass alive sister, I'm looking like, you should have left Patrick out of it. Like, point blank, period. What you could have said was, she my sister, she gonna always have my back. And I know that might not be fair. And I can admit that that's not fair sometimes. That's what she should have said. But, you know, from that point on, you know, Candy just said, you know, I'm just too old to feel like I'm the person on the outside looking in. You know, it's going to take time for us to be on the same page, and I just need time. And Tasha admits, you know, okay, I can give you that. I can see your point of view, and, you know, we'll take it from there. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. But it was so much in that first, like, 15 minutes. It was crazy. Now, the rest of the episode was basically a little bit of the same thing. You know, we see Candy talking to Todd. We see Natasha talking to her husband. And he's just saying, like, well, maybe, you know, Candy feel like because you left and them back then that she not going to come and say y'all now. You know, I don't think she hates you, but I feel like that could be a thing about it. And she agrees that's true, too. But she's like, I just feel like, you know, for some reason, me and Candy don't be on the same page. And I'm like, because you keep trying to be for Candy something that she don't need. Candy, at this point in time in her life, she don't need a big sister. She doesn't. So you need to stop trying to be that for her and just be her damn group mate. And for Candy, I think she needs to stop looking at the sisters as being against her and look at it like a business. We are 4 people in the business together, and whatever happened in the past, this is how I feel about it. We're going to move forward from here. So I need them all to do that, basically. But it was one thing that Natasha did bring up. She was like, even with her solo deal, she was like, you know, I kind of did it for no reason. She's like, because, you know, it was an issue where I recorded a few songs, but then JD left Sony. And when he left Sony, my project was just never finished. And, you know, I kind of went into a depression, and I just nothing ever came from my solo deal. So it was a thing where, you know, Candy had tons of success, and then I was just left with nothing. And I thought to myself, well, baby, that's karma. That's karma. The fact that you can't see that you gave yourself your own bad karma is based on how things, because my thing is, if you were so gung-ho to have your solo deal and you feel like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong, and then the minute you tried to be solo, everything went wrong, and you've never gotten back on track with being a solo artist, it's because sometimes you might have went about it the wrong way. You basically sabotage your group in one way or the other. And for yourself, so what you was trying to get to, you never accomplished because you didn't try to do it the right way. And I think the reason that Tiny and Candy has had success in their life in that field is because maybe they didn't go about doing things the wrong way. They tried to be more upfront about things. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know these ladies personally. I don't. This is just my opinion, so don't come for me, because if you do, I ain't gonna care no way. But yeah. So we see Candy also talking to Todd. And that was a quick show. Not quick show. But she just said, like, when she left the group, she was happier. Is what her and Todd basically talked about. You know, Todd brings up, you know, I know the other ladies are probably more enthusiastic about going back on tour than you are. And she's like, well, yeah, that's probably true. And it probably is true. But, you know, it's a good thing that she was saying. But, you know, even though, you know, I was happier back then when I left the group, I'm going to still try to make it be what it is now. And we'll see. So, I don't think anything else really happened. You know, there was a scene where they had a couple of rehearsals. Let me just finish this up. They had a couple of rehearsals, and they don't need to dance. We had Andrea Cully coming in, showing them dance moves. Y'all don't need to dance. They don't get the dance moves. They're trying to dance and sing. They sound winded. You know, just don't do it. But Andrea is still trying to get them to do. It's not as crazy as the move before, but they not dancers. They singers, and they need to realize that. And, you know, there was also where Tasha and Candy are working on the set list to do the BT show, where they have to do a medley of like some songs and be like within 4 minutes. So it was cool to see how Natasha and Candy both went into the studio and they were able to work together. And when Natasha was like, you know, see how we can work together? And I said, right, y'all can work together when y'all both not trying to be the boss of the other one, when y'all really work together. And that's why it worked. But I think Natasha needs to let go of that I'm the big sister, I'm the leader of the group mentality. Once she let that go and she realized they all on equal playing field, things work out because you're not trying to give your opinion on how things will be for a fact. You just, and I think that's the way to get along with each other. So yeah, you know, it was a cool thing to see them working out. What else? The girl's always late. You know, that was something Candy was getting pissed about. And I think I said Candy should not come to rehearsal one day until they all there and let them see how it feels to be late and have to wait on people. That's just my personal opinion. And, you know, when Candy was saying to the girls when they was in rehearsal, you know, I think we need to come earlier because we only have so much time to get ready for these shows and we not ready. Like, we should be here just as early as the band is here. Like, the band is here at 10. We shouldn't be coming in at 4 and 5, especially when we know the band has to be done at 6. We should come in when the band is here because the band, it's like the band has it together. We don't. And Latasha was like, nah, the band don't know everything. No, they not all the way together. And then Candy in her confession was like, you know, it ain't the band's fault that we don't know the dance moves. So them knowing their part, not us not knowing our part, doesn't have anything to do with each other. But we still need to come earlier. And I agree. Y'all need as much practice as you can possibly get. And, you know, that's just the thing. That's just the truth. The last scene is like the girls have another rehearsal. You know, Mama Joyce is there. We found out that the Detroit show has sold out. They actually did 2 Detroit shows. Both shows sold out. So this episode was when they found out they sold out the first show in 24 hours. They didn't add the second show over the 4th of July weekend. So, yeah. Mama Joyce come and she's like, okay. And then, like, you know, Mama Joyce has always been like, you know, Auntie Joyce or Auntie Joyce. And she's always been like the den mother or the mother of the group. And she's always been outspoken and very honest with them about what they need to fix and stuff like that. So she's like, you know, I want to see y'all, what y'all got so far. They perform. They trying to dance. They're trying to sing. They forgot a word or two here. Forgot a word or two here and there. My voice is going crazy. And when they done, she was like, you know, y'all don't need to do all that dancing. You know, y'all just need to sing because y'all are singers. You know, no one's coming to see y'all dance. Y'all need to show them after all this time, you know, y'all still have the vocals. And that's what y'all should focus on. I completely agree. I would not want to go to an Xscape show to see them dance. I want to see y'all sing because y'all are singers. And that's how like Andrea is teaching y'all all these dance moves because she's a choreographer for groups who aren't focused on singing. There are 2 different kind of groups that you can be in. A group who you have a little bit of talent in singing, but you're really there to perform. Xscape aren't performers. They're singers. They have great voices, and that's what people are there to see. And I thought, I'm like, stop dancing all around the screen. Just sit your asses down somewhere. Sit down somewhere and just sing. Or do little dance stuff. Y'all trying to do all these different all these moves. I'm like, no, just don't do that. Just cut it out. And so that's how the episode goes off with Mama Joy telling them, you know, y'all don't have to do all them dance moves. And as we see from when they did the BT show, the show here in Detroit, and even the show at Essence, they didn't do as many of those crazy dance moves, and they don't need to. So that was the whole episode. The one part I did skip was, well, it was a scene at Tamika's house where we see her husband, her 2 daughters, and then she brings up how when she was in the group Xscape, she found out she was pregnant, and the managers of the group or the management tried to tell her, well, you either can have an abortion or you can be put out the group. She said her sister then said, if my sister goes, I go. So she ended up having a baby, but we knew all this from before. So I skipped that little part because I don't like talking about that kind of stuff. But let's get to the part that I want to talk about before I end this video real quick because it's already getting too long. So Xscape was on Watch What Happens Live, all 4 ladies. And clearly, Tamika and Latasha still feel some kind of way. I feel like Tamika was being hella shady because when Andy Cohen asked her, you know, if she felt like if she would have had apologized to Candy sooner, if the group could have gotten back together. And then when he also asked her, like, you know, about how she lied on Candy, about the whole JD situation thing, Tamika purposely didn't clear up the way Andy asked the question. Because she then said, did I really make up the thing about her and JD? She know damn well she made up the other stuff. But Andy just said the JD part. And then when he said, well, no, I mean the stuff that you said on the radio. And she's like, well, what did I say? Bitch, stop playing. I mean, and I'm going to call her a bitch. I'm sorry. But it pissed me off because I'm like, again, it's the shady bullshit. And then Tiny sitting there, she's not sitting there. And Candy like, come on now, don't play with me. You know, she said the JD part is true. Yes, me and him did used to kick it. But everything else was fake. And then she kept saying, what all did I say? And she was like, I did say, she said what it is. So the dad part wasn't right. But you also see, and it's the thing of, I don't like them damn Scott sisters. I don't. And even they had like a little game where they was like, Andy would ask questions and then the ladies would have to, shine a flashlight over who it was about. And so he asked one question of which group member slept with the most groupies. And Tamika and Latasha pointed her flashlight at Candy. Now the other ladies didn't point at anybody because they're like, no, ain't like. She literally pointed at Candy, and then Candy like, what the fuck? She's like, no, y'all not gonna do that. I didn't sleep with no dang gone groupies. I'm like, why would she do that? And they back there laughing. Them damn Scott sisters is sneaky deaky, and that is why I can't fuck with them in real life. And, when Andy then said, will someone ask the question of, are y'all going to be making new music? And Candy said, well, they are, but I'm not. And then Andy was like, well, why you not doing? She said, well, because I'm going to be doing Broadway and other stuff. So they doing music stuff. And then Andy said, well, are they going to be up under Xscape? And Candy said, I don't know because I'm not involved in it. And then Tanya was like, well, yeah, because we are Xscape. Let me tell y'all something right now. No one is trying to see a new Xscape album, especially one with 3 members. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's not going to work. It's not. I don't know why y'all think it will, especially after this season airing of showing how y'all acting. It's not going to work. It's just not. And, Andy asked them, like, well, do y'all see how Latasha's solo album was the reason the group broke up? And then Latasha said, well, Candy has her idea of how she thinks the group broke up, and then we have ours. And it was weird for me because the whole time they talking, Tiny just sitting there being quiet. And it's the weirdest thing of how it do seem like it's the 3 of them, or at least the 2 Scott sisters, Tiny in the middle of it, and then it's Candy out here on her own. And I feel like that's why she like, I ain't doing no new music with y'all. She did say we are working through our issues. We are definitely doing our tour. They have like 29 shows booked, and it's like basically almost sold out. And she was like, so we're doing this tour, and that's it. And then they're doing their own thing, and I'm doing Broadway and other stuff. And then Tamika was like, Latasha was like, well, yeah, we already working on new music. I'm not checking for a new Xscape album without all 4 members. I love y'all old stuff, and I think y'all should focus on that. Latasha even said, I always felt like, if we were ever able to get back together, we can do like a residency in Vegas. Y'all could, as long as it's all 4 members. So, that's my review. I don't know why myself so long today. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm tired. I'm finna get this thing uploaded, and I will see you guys next time. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.